Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gents. Let's call the General Purposes Committee meeting to order. May I have a motion on the minutes?
So moved.
Any discussion? All those in favor, opposed, carried. And so we are joined by the good people from Tourism Richmond today. So come on forward, folks. And you're going to give us a bit of an update, as I understand it. So we'll ask you to introduce yourselves to the gathering throng and go from there.
Good afternoon, Mayor, councillors, and senior city staff. My name is Yannick Simovich. I'm the chair of Tourism Richmond and also the general manager of the Vancouver Airport Marriott Hotel. I am joined today by the CEO of Tourism Richmond, Ms. Nancy Small. And we are delighted to be here. Almost a year ago to the day, we appeared in front of you just coming out of the pandemic. We were certainly excited about the summer ahead, excited about moving into a new phase, uncertain about what the future held. Well, the good news is that Richmond and the industry as a whole, the pent-up demand that some anticipated was there, and the industry has rebounded. Richmond had an outstanding second half of 2022. With that rebound, there were some challenges: supply chain, labor, inflation, air travel, and many more. However, one would expect that once the tap is turned off for a long period of time, when it's turned back on, that it will take some time to get all the system functioning. However, things are improving, and many of these issues are in a better place than a year ago. We want to acknowledge the continued support and partnership of the City of Richmond, mayor, councillors, and city staff. We literally could not do what we do without your support, so we thank you very much for that. Ms. Small will now take you through some further updates, and we will welcome any questions at the end. Thank you.
Thanks, Yannick. Good afternoon, everybody. Great, absolutely wonderful to be here in person again. I never take it for granted when I see people in person anymore, so very happy to be here. Tourism Richmond is Richmond's not-for-profit destination marketing organization, DMO, affectionately known for short. We have the privilege of creating programs, promotions that will attract visitors to our city, both for leisure and for business and sport purposes. Our team is very passionate about what Richmond has to offer. Here you'll see our purpose, vision, values, and our mission that underpin everything that we do as an organization. And we've collaborated with our stakeholders and our board and some people here in this room actually on creating this, and very proud of the work that we do. And you'll notice that community benefit and community asset is part of everything that we do, especially our purpose. So spoiler alert, travel is back. It has resumed, and we're really happy where things are today. Our destination is once again shining in a really great way in terms of Canadian destinations. However, as Yannick said, it has not always been so easy in the last year. Drinking from a fire hose sometimes is what it's been felt like, but very happy to be doing that than what we were 2 years ago. It's incredibly competitive out there. Competitive for staff, competitive for visitors, and competitive for eyeballs with all the marketing programs that we're doing. I want to take you through some examples of some of the things that we've been doing over the last year and that we're very proud of, that are setting our industry partners up for success and that demonstrate the positive community benefit that our industry is striving for. A year ago, and this was the second year, the second iteration, we started an event called the Steveston Spot Prawn and Seafood Festival. And you can see here a picture of CBC Radio interviewing fisherman Frank, legend down on Steveston Dock. And this was on day one of the spot prawn fishery. Our mandate is to support the industry and restaurants, and we really think that this event helped to add to the vibrancy of Steveston. And by all accounts, media interest, restaurant support, people watching the food demonstrations, and some of the flags and the placemaking that we put up, great success. And we also did some digital advertising just to share some of the images that we promote out to the world, because you may not have the opportunity to see this. So I just wanted to share some of this with you. Again, beautiful imagery, great looking food, and sorry to make you hungry just before supper. Food, glorious food. So continuing on the food, no surprise that that continues to be one of the things that we promote and talk about when we talk to the world about Richmond. There's a fantastic tour called Authentic Asian Eats, which I highly recommend. Even though you're from here, you live here, it is a fabulous tour that Vancouver Foodie Tours puts on in Richmond. And the Dumpling Trail, which Tourism Richmond started pre my time, it was probably about 8 or 9 years ago, continues to be extremely popular. And of course, no discussion about food would not be complete without the Richmond Night Market, which is thriving this summer, as they did actually last summer. The numbers are off the charts, and this is one of our most popular destinations between the time of April to October. Last summer, we had a really fun, the Amazing Race Canada came to the Richmond Night Market, actually. Some of you may be aware. They held one of their final challenges, actually, within the night market. Food-based, no surprise, and that was really fun. We as a team were able to leverage this, and we got some great national coverage for the destination as part of this initiative. And this year, for the very first time, we're going to be promoting Richmond and all that we do with some new tactics, advertising on billboards in Seattle. We've done quite a lot of digital advertising in Seattle to great success, high engagement, high interest. We see a lot of American license plates here from Washington. So we're really excited to see where this is going to go. And we have the data now. We'll be able to see exactly how many people from Seattle will be coming, or from Washington will be coming up to Richmond. And I'll be able to report on that in time. Sorry, and then again, another example. Doesn't that look amazing? Very proud of that. And then again, some social media that we're also promoting on different channels, not only in Seattle, but also in Ontario, Alberta, and the rest of British Columbia. One thing that's really exciting about a collaboration within the City of Richmond and the work that we do is collaborating with the Sport Hosting Richmond. And of course, the much delayed Carha Hockey World Cup actually came to fruition this past March to great success. And the City of Richmond was an incredible supporter of that. Thousands of people from all over the world were here in our city, and I'm not taking credit for the event, but I certainly do acknowledge the partnership of the City of Richmond, and we were a small part of it, but it just demonstrates the importance of sport marketing to this city and to the destination that we promote. In addition, meetings and conferences is also part of the work that we do, and trying to attract meetings and conferences, people from associations, other corporate meetings that come into our hotels and experience a destination, much like a tourist would. You may remember, some of you who were here last year, we were talking a little bit about regenerative tourism. We've got a strategy in place, and really excited about moving some of this forward. We've collaborated with the City of Richmond, with some of the key staff members in the city. We've got a regenerative tourism committee that we've started, and we will be implementing programs, the things that we can do, the things that we can affect as a DMO, starting in the fall of this year. This is obviously a very large opportunity, but challenge to see where we can impact and what we can affect as a DMO. So really excited about that. The 3 pillars of the strategy are community activation, community engagement, and sustainability and resilience. So it's not only about green programs and eco-friendly things, it's actually about the community and activation as well. So really, really intrigued to see where this is all going to go within our team and with the committee, and how the committee will help direct these efforts. So I'll finish with Team Richmond, and this is something that's inherent in the way that we operate. It's one of our key values as an organization, and as Yannick said, we could not do the work that we do without Team Richmond, which includes the city, it includes our hotel partners, it includes our partners in the tourism world, and we're very active within that world. And this is what gives us, as a destination, a competitive advantage. Thank you very much, and I'd be very happy to take any questions, or Yannick and I would be very happy to take any questions.
Thank you. We have a question from Councillor Hobbs.
Sure, thanks, and through the chair. Well, first, thanks for being here, and thanks for all the great work that you do for Richmond. Two things. You mentioned Seattle, Ontario, Alberta. So could you just comment quickly on, some of the major things and how it's changed, like the target audience that you're targeting for tourism here? Because I think it has changed, and not just the pandemic causing it. And then one other quick question.
Yeah, the life of a destination marketer has changed remarkably over the last number of years because of the data that's available to us. We know when things are working, and we know how many people are coming. We know how many people from Ontario visited our destination last month. We know that because of research that we subscribe to. So what that allows us to do is most efficiently work our dollars, and so that we're actually promoting Richmond to the people who are most likely to come to Richmond. So that has evolved. What that means is we've gotten more sophisticated, and we've gotten more able to target those markets that are going to come. So I mentioned on Washington. Seattle is certainly a very appealing market to us, not only for the size and proximity, but because they love the food scene here based on the research that we've done. They are really into different types of food, and Richmond really suits a large part of people from Seattle. Alberta and certainly Ontario as well are the two other markets. And not that that's necessarily shifted. I think what has shifted is our ability to be more sophisticated in the media that we choose and the success of those media choices.
Okay, just one more question through the chair. That score, the Net Promoter Score, is something the industry partners do, and I know that you've done a lot of work in that area, and perhaps the score wasn't what we always wanted it to be in the past. So how is it now, and what can you comment about that? I think it's improved, right?
Yeah, it's kind of the grade, I guess, that industry gives us as an organization, and very happy to say that in the last number of years, our grades have improved remarkably. Wish my sons' grades had improved as much as ours had. But anyway, it has been a very successful run for the last number of years. I've been around 5 years, believe it or not, coming up to my 5-year anniversary. And we've had some really good success with industry. And the Net Promoter Score is something that we measure every year. We talk to our stakeholders via survey, and then they literally give us a number, and I think we got just under 60%. Doesn't mean it's A, B, C, or D as 60%, it just means that we've improved since negative numbers about 8 or 10 years ago. So very happy with that. Industry sees what we're doing, they like what we're doing, and they're acknowledging that. So
that's great. Thank you.
Councillor Wolf.
Thank you, Your Worship. I have 3 questions for you. First one, as you highlighted there, Minaroo Arena was used for the Carha tournament. I was there for that gold medal game, most exciting live game I've seen in a long time. Are you perhaps going to use the facility for more events? I know a lot of people there are like, how come there's only one game and this whole tournament held here? And yeah, any thoughts on where we might see that facility being used for
I think
tourism?
the opportunity to use facilities not only for what they were intended, such as a hockey game in Minaroo Arena, but for other things is something that we always are looking for. Certainly the Richmond Olympic Oval is a jewel in the crown for different things that we can do as a destination to attract different events, whether they be sport or others. So I would say yes to that. And certainly, as I said, I can't take credit for the Carha event itself, but what we try to do is leverage the work that the Sport Hosting Group does, and really try to get people moving around when they're in the destination. And we've been extremely successful in those collaborations over the last number of years.
Thanks. My next question is in regards to support workers for tourism, like people who are maybe paid lower than a living wage and maybe struggle to support the tourism industry. So are you finding major shortage of janitorial staff or things like that?
Yeah, this is something that most industries are grappling with actually right now, and this is a pre-pandemic, or this happened prior to the pandemic as well. Certainly within our industry specifically, with the challenges that we had when literally companies were closing down or could not operate, many people left those roles that they might have had for a long time, and they had to find work. A lot of people are not returning to work that in a way that they had before for a multitude of reasons. So I think that it's not only support workers, it's actually pretty much the entire industry, but other industries are finding the same thing. The thing that I can say to you, though, is that our industry is really trying everything we can, working on all levers, whether it be immigration. Promoting the industry is a great place to be, if you want flexibility or if you want career advancement, all kinds of different things. Really trying to work on that collectively as a group. And I think those corrections hopefully will, or not corrections, but I think some of that will hopefully be rectified in the next little while. But it's going to take time. And as Yannick said, you turn something off and you're turning it back on, and the demand was so high last year that there were definitely a lot of challenges across the board around labor.
Thanks. Before my last question, just to follow up on that one, have you seen, I know the word inflation I don't think was used at all in your presentation, but are you seeing more partners provide living wage certification for their workers?
Definitely, certainly YVR has done that, and yeah, absolutely. I think you're going to see more of that for sure.
Thanks. And my final question, will Tourism Richmond be posting on Threads on Thursday?
I'm sorry?
The new platform that Facebook is putting out comes out on Thursday. It's called Threads. Will Tourism Richmond be utilizing that?
I'm embarrassed to say I don't know.
There you go.
So sorry. I have to ask Patrick, our Director of Marketing, that one. You'll have to tell me more about that one. So, okay, yeah.
All right, Councillor Heed.
Yeah, it's the Facebook's Twitter version called Threads.
Really?
That's
Okay.
that's what's
Thank
coming
you.
out.
Well, I guess I got to get with it a little bit more. Thank you for that. Yeah.
Michael must read the paper. I just read it today too. My question is on the hotels, the vacancy rate or the occupancy rate, and how we are predicting going forward. Because some research that I read is that we're not going to have the hotel space available for people that want to come in, whether they're transitioning from somewhere else through the airport, or they actually want to come and stay in Richmond.
So I can answer that question. Certainly, when it comes to this year has been fantastic. Richmond has outperformed actually Vancouver by a margin of 6 points in occupancy. They're still behind in rate, but they definitely are very closing the gap between the downtown Vancouver and Richmond itself. Q3 and 4, it's an unknown. But what I can tell you is through some research in the United States itself, because for some reason we always follow what happens in the States. But there is a recession that's happening right now in the United States. It is mild recession, but it's coming. And we believe into the 6 to 8 months, next 8 months, that we will see the same pattern. Now, I'm sure there is a lot of application for more hotels in the city, and that would be certainly welcomed.
Just a bit of a follow-up question with respect to that. Airbnb, do you know what the impact that has on tourism? Does that give us some indication that it's increasing, or are we just depending on the data from the hotels?
Yeah, the research that I've seen has shown that Airbnb definitely increased in popularity during the pandemic. People were more reluctant to go into more public places. Even if they wanted to travel, they would prefer to go to an independent home rather than in a hotel. I think that has corrected itself to be what it was likely before the pandemic. I think that Airbnb, those are visitors as well, and we welcome them into the city. I think that there's a comment about leveling up with Airbnb and making sure that they pay the appropriate taxes and have the appropriate insurance, and that's something I feel very passionately about, because that is something that I think really needs to happen. I think Richmond has done a great job in making sure that is the case. But I think that Airbnb is here to stay as a place for potential visitors to stay, and we wouldn't want to exclude a visitor if they want to stay in an Airbnb. But we certainly see that there are challenges with that. I haven't seen any specific impact numbers within Richmond. We have not noticed it from a MRDT, from a funding perspective. We've not noticed any difference between that. As Yannick said, the hotel community in this city and the hotels here have been seen extremely, even coming out of the pandemic, very good year. But headwinds ahead as we look to see what the potential is for future business, even for next year. So we have to be on our toes.
Yeah, and the other thing also, the big brands such as Marriott and Hilton are going into this short-term rental. Basically, they have actually renting residences, so believe it or not.
You will recall that in Richmond, we don't allow the Airbnbs, the short-term rentals, which are defined as being less than 30 days.
Correct.
So, all right, thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you for
very
your
much, all.
interesting presentation.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So, we now have the UBCM Community Excellence Awards. Jason, anything to add to your report?
Chair. Moves the recommendation.
So that's moved and it's seconded. Any discussion? Councillor Wolf.
Thanks, Your Worship. Just one question to staff. Under the first one, the excellence in governance, it's at the top of page 29. Just in there, it mentions the Dike Master Plan Phase 4, which council heard and approved a week or so ago. And it mentions there the city's habitat enhancement initiatives. It doesn't list them, so I'm just curious, is there any new information on what the habitat enhancement initiatives will be? I know the Fish Habitat Bank is in there, keeping riparian management areas, environmental sensitive areas wherever possible, vegetative, waterside, dike sloping habitat. But my question is about like the tree habitat, the eagle nesting habitat. Is that at all going to be brought to the forefront in this application where we can kind of showcase how we're doing that critical piece?
Let's just ask, what are the habitat enhancement initiatives that you're going to list?
Through the chair to Councillor Wolf, I'll have to invite engineering and public works staff.
Someone help us with that one?
Through your worship to Councillor Wolf, yes, this is more the highlights of, again, our public engagement. Again, more just bringing awareness to the public, again, not about specific projects, but just a broad and general approach, and then more about public education in general.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, we'll call the question then. Oh, Councillor Hobbs, you had a question or a comment or something.
Thanks, and through the chair. I found it very interesting, but the one on the aging infrastructure I thought was really interesting, dikes, sewers, roads, that kind of thing. And it just dawned on me, is that a very unique submission? Because it seems quite innovative and far thinking in terms of thinking ahead. So I imagine we must be one of the few places that have thought of doing that.
Through the chair to Councillor Hobbs. To our knowledge, we don't know if a lot of municipalities go to the depth that we do, our robust program. And so for our submission, it just allows us to really showcase what we're doing in Richmond. And so, I mean, the answer to your question is that we don't think that there's a lot of analysis that goes on in Metro Vancouver particularly. So it allows us to really showcase what we're doing here in Richmond.
Yeah, that's a really good one, I thought. Thanks.
All right, we'll call the question then. All those in favor? Any opposed? That is carried. Someone move adjournment. Okay.